All right, check it out. Today we got a Vantrue JS1. Vantrue JS1, and it's a car battery jump starter, basically. So this is a Vantrue, brand new. They just came out, and so we're gonna unbox this and see what's going on. Now, what is this thing? It's very simple. If you have a dead car battery, motorcycle battery, ATV battery, tractor battery, whatever, as long as it's 12 volts, this thing will jump start it. And so you won't need a donor vehicle in order to jump start a dead battery. That's the bottom line. These things have been around forever. However, what I will say is we've been impressed with the quality of Vantrue. So look at this. Wow, look at that. Isn't that nice? So I've been impressed with Vantrue's dash cams, even more so than more expensive brands like Thinkware, and more impressed with Vantrue as far as their dash cams with brands like VOFO. So bottom line is, hopefully Vantrue can do the same thing with this battery jump start. This case it comes in seems rather nice. I'll explain how these things work. So you get a nice case with some Velcro, which is nice because you're going to store this presumably in your car, or if you're going to use it at home, you'll store it in your garage or shed. So what do we get here in the bag? Get some plugs and adapters, basically. So it looks like some sort of charging plug, USB-C to standard unpolarized plug, and then we'll get to the big jumper cables in the unit itself in a second. USB-C, positive and negative jumper cables to a big quick connect. Alright, let's get to it. The moment you've been waiting for here. So what's this? Ooh, okay. So this feels good. It feels substantial. I'm going to set it right there, and we'll play around with it a little bit. Now, I don't know if this thing has some charge in it or not. So it feels good. It's heavy. Feels quality. Now this is made in China, but so is Vantrue's dash cam. They're Vantrue N4 Pro, and we've been beyond impressed with that camera for being made in China. It's one of the best Chinese dash cams, if not the best, you can get. So how do you feel about having Chinese lithium-ion batteries sitting around in your car? Well, before we talk about that, I guess we have to talk about batteries in general. So if we look over here, we're going to see that all of this stuff that you see over here, essentially, all these batteries, you got a rigid right here, DeWalt in here is a big DeWalt battery. Panasonic, even the best batteries ever. Actually, Panasonic might be the only holdout. Yeah, made in Japan. These are the only batteries you're gonna get made in Japan, and they don't even import this stuff anymore to America. But the Panasonic batteries are the best. This is Toyota's OEM for those who are fans of the channel. This is a Toyota Lexus fanboy girl channel. The rest of this stuff will be made in China. The DeWalt's made in China. Rigid in China. What about this stuff over here? What about like a Ryobi? These Ryobis are kind of old, but they're going to be made in China. Okay, so everything is made in China. What about Hitachi? I'm pretty sure that's made in China too. Let's check out the Hitachi over here. And I'm 99.9% sure the Hitachi is made in China too. Let's see. And this is going to tie in to what we're rambling about here. Made in China, okay? So everything's made in China, and this is my point about this battery jumper, is to just kind of give it some context. This thing has Chinese lithium-ion batteries inside of it. So we know that, right? Chinese lithium-ion batteries, so concerns about fire, damage, explosions, all these things we hear about, Chinese e-bike batteries causing fires, etc. Take it with a grain of salt, because as you saw there, 99% of the batteries that are going to be in your regular power tools that you have laying around, baking in the sun, laying wherever, they're made in China and they work just fine. They don't explode, they don't cause anything catastrophic. Now, sorry I had to ramble about that for a bit, but this is a giant lithium-ion battery that you're presumably going to be keeping in your expensive car, and you don't want it to blow up and catch fire. So, dispelling, or at least addressing safety issues, explosion issues, negative issues about keeping one of these baking in your car or freezing in your car is important. So we have some charge ports here. These two larger USBs are outputs, I believe. And the charging is going to be a charge input. So to charge the batteries inside of here, use USB-C. Let's see if it has power. We got a light here, and then we got the jumper input here. So when you're ready to jump a car, you take one end, or you take this blue end. Can't mix this up. Plug it in. Then you're gonna hook your leads to your battery. Positive, negative, and then you're going to turn it on and hit your boost button. There's a little button there that says boost, and that's going to send the electricity, the amperage, however you want to call it. It's going to send it to the dead battery, and you're going to be able to start your car. So let's turn this thing on, see if it has any juice in it. Oh, it does. So it's lighting up red. It says 79. I have no idea what that means. So maybe that means percentage of battery. Let's use our brains and our intelligence, okay? And so that's all we have to look at here. Okay, now let's see what any of these buttons do. Let's see. That's not a button. Okay, how do we turn the light on, maybe? I don't know. I haven't read the instructions as you see here, so I might need to figure this out. But let's try the boost button. That didn't do anything. So that should only involve the... But I don't know how we turn the flashlight on. Let's try hitting the power button again. That didn't do anything. I don't see any other buttons, which is a good thing because there's not much to damage here. Well, let me take a moment and figure out how I can actually turn this thing on. Okay, I read the instructions real quick. I figured it out. It says hold the power for 3 seconds. And the light will come on, and we indeed have a light. And push it again, it gets brighter, seems like. Push it again, SOS. You know. Push it again, slow strobe. Push it again, red emergency. So you have a few features. Now what's all this for? It's just for extra features. That's not the primary use of this thing, but it could come in handy if you need it, so it's a plus. The primary use is you're going to plug this thing in, and the juice is going to go to the car that needs a jump, and presumably away you go. But this feels great, feels well built, well packaged. Nothing feels cheap. The case is good. It's not the best case, but the stuff that matters feels pretty good for what it is.
So what's the deal with this thing? Is this just another white label Chinese power brick? Yeah, it is. There's no way around that, and it would be disingenuous to say otherwise. There's nothing on paper that separates this from any other of the popular Chinese white label power bricks that are out there. So why Vantrue? Answer is, we've just been satisfied with the cameras, so we're giving it a shot. On paper, again, there's nothing to separate this from anything else, but Vantrue so far is the most impressive dash cam as far as quality and value. It's in that sweet spot. So we're giving them a go. One word about putting this thing in your car. We live in a desert, so it gets to be 120 or higher in the car. We're not going to keep this in the car just to be on the safe side. If you live not in the desert, you'll probably be okay unless you're in a place like, say, Florida, where it gets super hot in the car. That's the only thing I could think is just use common sense when you put a big case of lithium-ion batteries in an enclosed hot space. Other than that, we'll keep the channel posted. Looking forward to hopefully never needing to use this, but we're glad to have it if we do need to jump somebody's vehicle. If you found this video helpful, useful, or entertaining, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a great, great day.